wonderful day. Today is Thursday. Episode 485. We only have 15 more episodes to celebrate our big 500. Let me hit you with the theme song. Good morning, family. What can I say? God woke us up on this beautiful day. He's generous, he's wonderful, he's kind and great. So let's show our Father we appreciate. God is good. God is good. God is good. Ba 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 ba. Hey, good morning, family. What can I say? God woke us up on this beautiful day. He's generous, he's wonderful, he's kind and great. So let's show our Father we appreciate. God is good. God is good. God is good. Ba 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 bow. God is good. Woo! God is good. God is good. A lot of people like to say God is good. I like to say chicken is good and God is great. And this is the Michael Colyar Morning Show. I want to welcome all y'all popping in here with us. And just in case you don't know, I hit you with that title real quick. Pow, 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 the Michael Colyar Morning Show in his books. And I was like, well, I was really blown away. They were really inexpensive. I don't know if I spent $10, $5, something, but they were very, very affordable. And like this is one of them. What I tell myself, I think it's important what you tell yourself in the morning. And my Black Life Matters. I love that one. And what I teach my child or my children daily, this one I really love because it's a journal. And you could, what you teach your baby daily, you can keep a record of it. I just think he's a fly young brother. I'm glad to have him on the show. Please get your hands together for the wonderful Mr. Mike Brown. Woo! Mike Brown! Mike Brown! What up, what up, what up?
What's going on? How are you? Thank you.
Excellent. Oh, I'm kidding. I love your backdrop. Is that your art?
A few of these are, a few of these are not. No, I bought these two that were here. This one with the train, I did paint that one. A couple of other ones down the wall. I love art on the wall. Yeah, and actually this one and that one right there, I did paint myself. So I like art on the wall.
Oh, I love this picture. I'm just stepping out for a second, long enough so we can see the art in the books.
Yes, sir.
So, okay, tell me about you, Mike Brown, in Chicago, writing books. I didn't know they wrote books in Chicago. I thought just shoot. Pow, 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 pow.
I teach people how to do that too.
You teach people how to do that too? Oh, my God. Tell me about your story.
Well, I'm an anger management specialist. I'm an abused child advocate.
An anger management specialist?
That's correct.
And writing children's books. Okay,
good. Writing children's books, because the thing is that in dealing with a lot of trauma myself and in dealing with a lot of people's trauma, it's easy to complain about the issues, and we all want solutions to those problems, but it's good to have introduction into those solutions. So having been a college professor and teaching things relative to psychology and criminal justice, that's when I started to create my children's books based on a psychological principle of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, dealing with self-esteem.
Whoa, slow down. Yeah, too much, too fast. I love Maslow's hierarchy. His thing of the hierarchy is what we need to exist as human beings. Certain things you got to have. You got to have food. You have to have water. You have to have shelter. Oh, that's it. You have to have shelter, and you have to have someone else in your life. You have to have relationship. This is basics. All right, go ahead. Say that again. Stop.
You're awesome. That's correct. That is correct. That is the basic principle of it. And the thing is, I found that we don't get taught those things in our schools, and the people fail for the lack of knowledge. And so that's where I began to create these books, starting with the books that you held up. And I loved the fact that you supported it. But I believe in you, just not that. This is an awesome book that talks about, our children want to aspire to be their best self, but sometimes how they go about doing it is rather comedic. And in order to guide them towards that, there needs to be a conversation. There needs to be support, and there needs to be realistic thinking. We're good at certain things. We're not so good at certain things. Some things we will perfect, some things we won't perfect. And that's where the first book that you were holding up, what I tell myself first, things like, I like me. Not everyone will like me. That's okay. I like me. Failure is a part of success if we learn from the failure. What do we learn?
Yes.
If we end up dealing with a realism, and not just gassing our children up to have a large perspective of certain things that sometimes may be out of reach. If we help children and parents too manage their expectations, they can control their emotions a lot better. we have to start early and often.
Wow. So how come you're not a teacher? Because you are.
I am. Yes. Yeah. Well, in order to be able to teach in CPS, my degree, I have a bachelor's and master's in criminal justice, psychology, and philosophy. They don't, if I were living in a white area, they would have me in the schools teaching because that's a vocation. But unfortunately, because of politics, we don't have those kinds of vocations in our schools. And that's why I'm not teaching. But I do use this and these books as a ministry to help not only children, but adults too. Even though we've grown to where we are, that doesn't mean we learned everything. So my books also serve as kind of like Trojan horses to where the adult is getting what they're giving to the child. So it works both ways.
Wow. I'm super impressed, brother.
Thank you.
That is so awesome. What part of Chicago are you living in?
South Side, around Auburn, Gresham, Chatham area.
South Side?
Yeah.
Chatham?
Yeah.
I know all about that area, brother. I'm from South Side myself, brother. I really appreciate you.
Yeah.
Show me 3 of the books and tell me about each one. Just tell me a little bit about 3.
Sure, no problem. So this one is the one that you have, What I Tell Myself About No. And children don't often understand that word no. They think that no is a bad word. And in certain cases, it could be, but no can save them from danger they don't see. No can actually save them from a lot of hurt, harm, and danger. And so, like one of the commenters said, parents don't often teach their children. They need to have tools. It's not enough to say we want to break generational curses. This book, What I Tell Whose Fault Not Mine, it helps teach children about acceptance of responsibility. Yes, it is the case that, it could be somebody else's fault, but we have a part to play in those things as well. I really, really love this book. It's a Chicago-based book using the Chicago Transit Authority
train. Stay on the track.
Stay on track. Yes. This is a lesson that we as adults can use. And if we learned this earlier, it would actually help. It's easy to see someone else's successes and someone else's grind and see what someone else is doing. And it causes us to pay more attention to them and not attention to ourselves. But we know the reason why we're doing it. Our journey may not be their journey. Our stops may not be their stops. And so often paying attention to them can take us off of track of our goals and our journey. And that's exactly what happened to this train, this conductor getting off track. And the train had to remind him, remember why you got into this. Don't get off track. Now that you're back on track, stay on track. It's very important that we do that. I like conversations that build relationships between children and parents. You can't teach them different if you don't know different, regardless of your best intentions. And like I said, I gotta say I appreciated you, and I still do, because I don't make my books expensive. They're only $5. $5. That's it. Yeah, $5. And the 4 books that you got, just imagine if we start to have these conversations with our children and leave them with those lessons that will take them far and wide. The purpose of teaching them is to put that dot on their brain so that when life shoves that pencil in their hand, they will have a dot to connect. They can't connect the dot that is not there.
Oh, wow. You're amazing, brother.
You are
really absolutely amazing. Where'd you go to high school?
Chicago Vocational, CVS.
CVS? Oh, shoot. My son went to CVS for 2 years, man.
Yeah.
CVS. Of course, I went to Morgan Park, South Side.
That's it. Yes.
Just roll on you, please.
Mustangs. Yep.
You're amazing. I mean, absolutely amazing. What you're doing with these books, this way of approaching knowledge, giving children knowledge this way in a way that's palatable, is tasty. The colors are delicious. You look at this and you keep it simple. I be telling people about their business cards. People give me business cards, and first the writing will be so tiny, your eyeball bleed trying to read it. Then they put a gang of words on there and a tiny picture. If you're trying to bring someone into your circle, you want to make it easy for them.
Sure.
You want them to be able to say, oh, I could do that. Wait, 5 words?
Yes.
That's it. What I tell myself about, 6 words. I tell myself about no. Oh, I can read that, And then you get into it. Now, look, I just want you to see how well. Are you doing the art?
I am not. No.
Okay.
I stay in my lane.
Okay. All right. But you write the story.
Yes.
And then you have your artist put the art together. And in each one, it's a lesson, and you're learning something.
Yes.
Hey, I need Derek to come on. Derek, ask this man a question or two. I got to grab something.
Hey, man, listen, wait a minute, Uncle Mike, before you leave, I'm just proud of how far you've come, because I lost your story a long time ago, man. From the time that you were injured in Ferguson, Missouri, to where you're at now. I'm so proud of you, brother.
You're something else.
He is retarded.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
I'm sitting here like,
I know the
where you're
Brown
going with
family.
this.
I know the Brown family. They'll want to talk to you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. No, listen, man. I enjoy reading, and as you're talking, I'm thinking about my son, and it not really a failure, but I'm thinking about, did I fail him by not purchasing Mike Brown's books? And then now he's 13. There are some challenges and some things questions that he's asking me. Are your books more for kids who are in elementary or just beginning, or do you have books for teenagers?
Awesome question. I actually use these books on adults too, because it is one thing that we think that just because a person has anatomically grown as an adult, that they got everything. And so in anger, your brain is in a different area. You're in your emotions. So you're not in prefrontal cortex where you're thinking logically. So I use a lot of these books to break down simplistic concepts in a simplistic form. And I'll give you one, for example. This is my workbook from my book, Mommy, Daddy, Please Teach Me. You know, it has a lot of stuff in here, such as, you know, helping children actually have cooking, right? You know, actually preparing 4 dishes. You know, it's not too late for your 13-year-old. We want to increase the value and the knowledge, skills, and abilities that they actually have. The personal resume versus professional resume. What you do in school is good for work, but it may not be necessarily good for the home. So there's a lot of different things in here, teaching boys about girl sizes, because boys will be men who may have children. And what woman wouldn't want to have a man that has the skill set to understand feminine and female needs? That is absolutely amazing.
That's why I'm a good catch. I be trying to tell them, like, girl, I get it. You know, I'm gonna go to the stove for you, baby. I know what you need.
Yes.
Things. I got it.
Yes.
So yeah, I think this is also encouraging spending time with the family. You know, in a way in which it's not just in front of a movie. It's not just at church. This is where we get to interact. We get to talk. We get to find out about one another. What set you on this journey to bring families closer together like this?
Being a survivor of childhood trauma and having a strong dislike for my mother, and then helping someone else where it clicked that the pain that my mother, God rest her beautiful soul, that the pain that she put on me was the result of pain that was put on her. And then my mistakes, being a young adult, taking on responsibilities I wasn't qualified for, we complain instead of looking, and understandably, instead of looking at possible resources and changing the dynamic. My mom did not know. My mom did not know. And part of the reasons we got beat is because it was passed down from her, from others to her, then from her to me. And then, you know, I don't beat my children, but, you know, parents, I saw a comment, a lot of parents have not healed from their own childhood trauma. And so the road less traveled is, we can all agree that children need to learn. And so if we can use that as a vehicle to pass on to children the lessons in these books and then heal ourselves, oh my God, who has time to beat kids when you still got stuff to learn?
I love that. So you're an anger management specialist.
Yes.
Did that come from the trauma that you suffered? Were you angry, and then once you overcame your anger, you wanted to then teach people how to also overcome their anger?
Well, I was angry as a kid, but I taunted my mom by running away. Every time she tried to whoop me, I was run. So I would play the game with her. So I went to CVS, and so we had a great band. So music at ROTC was my outlet. So I wouldn't say I was angry per se. I would run from that. So she wouldn't have a chance to really do that. But as I became an adult and started having children of my own, I was not qualified to be responsible for anybody else's life but my own. And I made some mistakes in my life. And we often blame the other person. It's too easy to do that.
Mistakes.
But when you start to look into yourself and see that, yeah, there are some things within you that motivated you to make these actions. How can we change the dynamic? It has to start with educating children early and often. Exposure comes before comprehension. And the more that we read to them, one of the things my mom used to say is, do I have to keep repeating myself? Yes, that's the essence of teaching. You can't say one time and then that's it. Yes, you got to repeat yourself. And so do it over and over and over again. The journal that you like, Mike, it's absolutely amazing because you can actually keep track of what you are actually teaching your children and what you haven't taught them. Parents and teachers are held accountable for what they teach, and we got to do better. We got to do better. I'm passionate about this.
You're magnificent. I could do 30 minutes just talking to you. You're magnificent. I love what you bring to the table, brother, and how you make it accessible to the kids. Any kid could look at this and get involved and not think it's challenging or not think it's too much. They'll think, oh, let me look in here and see what it is. And so you've come from a relationship with your mother that wasn't good, and you instead of using that to become a tyrant to yourself, you decided to use that to bring gentleness and kindness to kids and learning. That's, brother, what you do is a man. Let me stand up. Let me stand up, brother. Amazing. And I met you sitting at a little table at the back of our auditorium. Who would know you have this level of greatness within you? I know you know. I know your family knows. How many kids you have?
4. I have 1 son and 3 daughters.
Wow, you ain't shooting no blanks. That's a good thing. Okay. It's a family show. Excuse me.
One last question for you. I got one last question for you. With all that you do, you understand having kids. I have a son myself. I'm not with his mother. When I go to MikeBrownBooks.com and I purchase a book, will that $5, if I purchase these amount of books, like let's say 5 books, do you have it set up to where it will take away from my child support? That way I ain't got to get his girl his money. I want to know.
Well, I will tell you this. I don't know if it's going to take away from your child support, but I will say this. If you're talking about increasing your value in the courts, it's not enough to say what I'm able to do. What a good way to be able to show the lessons that you are actually teaching your kid, and the fact that you signed it and they signed it. You have proof of your lessons. And for people who have to go through divorce, who have to go through child courts and things, judges like to see proof.
Wow.
And this is proof.
This is
proof.
Yeah, I need to know you.
And they're going to take off your child support, though.
I need to know you on a personal level.
Yes,
you know, you're just a great man. You're great for the community. You're great for the children, man. You're great for my self-esteem. I'm listening to you and I'm feeling better about me, and so we're honored to have you here, brother. Tell people how they can. Wait. I got to do something. I'm going to take all y'all off for 1 second because I ain't really supposed to be showing this yet, but I'm going to give y'all a sneak peek of my new children's book that's coming. I gotta share it while you're looking. Okay.
Yes, please.
I'll pull y'all down so I can use the whole screen. Okay. Let's see. Where's my okay. So this is one scene. The character's name is Little Bobby White. He's helping a lady across the street. This scene is not even finished. It's gonna be a crowded scene. And this is the cover. Wait a minute. Hold a second. Go back in and go to I want to show you the cover here. Come on. It's turn around. Well, this is the star. I won't show you the book cover yet, but this is the star, Little Bobby White. This coming, and Little Bobby White always succeeds because he always chooses to do the right thing. And it's just like Plato had said like 2,000 years ago, we're supposed to come to a place in our lives where we're not supposed to choose between right or wrong. If you know the right thing, there is no choice. You have to do what's right because it's right. And then this little midget dude named Spike Lee come along 2,000 years later, said the same thing, do the right thing. So this little kid does the right thing, and so he always succeeds. And I just wanted to share that. I ain't even releasing this book till a little later in the month because the guy's still on the art of it. But you inspire me so much, brother. I had to share that right now with you, King. Where you go?
I'm
There's
right
so
here.
many bald heads on here. Yeah, this is like the bald head society today. All right, yeah. So look, we've had you on way too long, but not even long enough. We appreciate you once again. Tell them how to find you, Mike Brown.
They can go to MikeBrownsBooks.com, MikeBrownsBooks.com. Yes, I do ship the books directly, and I definitely want to take this little small time to say I appreciate you because of what you did in that comedy show. You found value in these books, and those people flooded my table. I was just in autopilot mode, so I was in tears.
Oh, yay.
And I appreciate
So
you.
they
I
actually
gotta
came
give
back
you
and
that.
bought them. Yay. All right, good. Because I was sold because they cost $5.
Yes.
I thought you was making it up when he said $5.
No.
Everybody got $5, you know?
Yeah.
So many people have loved this interview with you this morning. And even Nelly gave you a woo, woo, woo. And she usually walk around with her fist balled up, you know? So it's so many people who said, I'm getting these books. One person said, I'm getting all your books. So you, man.
I can't wait till your book is out. I love the illustrations. That becomes a problem in children's books. So the story. I can't wait.
Wait till you see the illustrations. The thing he sent me the whole book so far, and now he's just going back to touch them up. Yeah. It's a really great book. But you, sir, are a great man, and you are good for our community, and you're good for the planet, and we love you and we appreciate you. Thank you. Once again, thank you, King. I'm glad they bought the books that day because there was a lot of people in that room. Yes. You know.
Yes.
Yay. Yeah. All right. You have to leave us with a woo, woo, woo.
Woo, woo, woo.
Hey, y'all, Michael Brown, the Michael Brown, the writer. Don't confuse him with the other brother. Get your hands together for a king who's still here with us this day, teaching our kids, Michael Brown, right here on the Michael Brown.